with the millions.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist. Yo, I got that Ric Flair figure flow. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat flow. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this mic pro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.
Yes, indeedy, my friends. Yo, what is up? And welcome to Ball and Buds presents Banter, Brawls, and Bravado, a really special episode today, a friends episode, so it's going to be pretty awesome bringing some old friends together that have been cool for a very long time. So that being said, I am your host, Omar, the Street Professional Fonseca, and we have some very special guests again coming on today. So first, you know him well, star of next week's Combat Sports Special, Clubber D, the Combat G. Yes, next Thursday we will be doing our UFC 306 / Canelo Alvarez fight show. So next Thursday at 8 p.m. Make sure you check out Clubber D and all he has to say. How are you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing well, feeling good. How you doing? I see you stuck, in Saudi Arabia, but it's okay. We're making it work today. All right.
We're gonna make it work. If I look a little weird or out of shape, I apologize. I look fine on my end. I'm not any blurry. So I don't know. But anyways, apparently I am, so I apologize. That being said, let's bring in our next special guest. You know him, Ball and Buds All-Star. First time back after a while. It's been almost a year. Our MLB insider, Mike Wheby. How's it going, brother?
Uh-oh, Mike's spinning. Oh, look at that. It'll transferred over to Mike.
Uh-oh. We're getting a little bad streaming on. Well, as Mike is getting set up, let's go ahead and bring in the special surprise guest that we have been friends with this guy for, I guess, high school, 25 years or so. And I'm going to let him introduce himself because he can do it better than I. But friend of the Ball and Buds crew, Dave Dufour, or better known as Dat Guy Dave.
Better known? I don't know about better known, but probably not maybe my better days. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. What's up, guys?
Hey,
it's great.
First time, long time.
Yeah, first time,
Thanks
long
for
time.
having
I love
me.
it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
First
really
time
good to
caller,
be here.
long time listener.
Long time
Dave,
knower.
Dave, I have something to show you that I had downstairs lined up. I saw your guy made the video the other day. How's this action?
My nephew. Oh yeah. Hey, look at that. What? Okay.
We could see it.
All right. Now, how come you have that? Now, I will say I do appreciate that you got this live stream in stunning 240p fidelity here. Pretty amazing.
8-bit.
How did you now look, Omar, for real, Omar? How did you get Osama's camera?
Oh my God. I don't understand because it looks so good to me on this end. I don't understand what's happening right now.
Honestly,
It looks
Omar,
like
if you told me that you
Turbo
often
Graphics
said those
60.
words, I would not be shocked. Looks
I
so
thought he was
good for
playing
my
Nintendo
end.
VR. I thought he was playing Nintendo VR with Star Fox. I thought he was pulling one of those.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to try to change the camera in a second here. We'll figure
yeah.
something out.
Yeah, ask Chemical Ali for a better lens.
I mean, it is a Logitech Brio, supposed to be 4K, but clearly not doing its job.
We're gonna have to get
that
Ron Blix in there to see what's going on with Omar's equipment.
Got your Kim from Wonderland.
We
okay?
need
That's
a
Richmond
UN
reference.
inspection team.
Look, just because I am scavenging out in my own bunker with the worst internet ever, y'all just got to excuse me. Anyways, all right. Well, let's kick this bad boy off, and you're going to hear us joining on each other all episodes, so please do not be offended if you hear it. That's what this is supposed to be about, a good, fun, lighthearted, joking around, giving our hot takes. So let's get started. A couple things I want to start off with first. Shout out to the Kelseys who got their new hit podcast to Amazon for $100 million. Just wanted to shout out so we could say that we are right behind you, and Ball and Buds would like that same kind of deal. If Amazon, we'll take less. We'll take less. We'll take like 1/10 of that. If Dave will.
I would take 1/10 of that. Yeah, I would do it for only that amount of time, and I would maybe never do anything else again. But
why not?
Yeah, that's good money. Now, it's good money for them. I don't know if it's good money for the company that's paying for them. Because what happens when Taylor Swift dumps this guy?
Ooh.
Nothing.
You know what I mean?
Well, you got to give credit to what Dave is saying, because a lot of that value is coming from the fact that he's dating Taylor Swift.
Well, Jason's trying with a lot of these commercials, you know, he's been on ESPN a couple of times, but he's trying to market himself, trying to be a funny guy. So I can see him being a wannabe Will Ferrell in a lot of movies, trying to market himself. But what are they going to do? Like you said, once Taylor Swift goes, and you know, anyone outside of Philly or Tennessee won't care about you.
I'll tell you guys right now, and what they will figure out if they haven't already, which maybe they have. Like they do have a successful podcast. I have no idea if it's good or not because I don't know. Those guys play football. I can't imagine they got a whole lot that I want to hear. When you have to podcast and that's your job, you have to podcast no matter what. I'm doing NBA podcasts every other day right now, and it's September, all of August. When these guys have to do a podcast because the ads are sold, how does that go? I never know how these player podcasts go. I just look at it like this, man. Fame is a disease.
Mm-hmm.
And companies pay for fame because we're all willing to get infected by that disease. I would rather listen to more interesting people, but Spotify's not going to give them $100 million.
Oh hell no!
No,
Ain't that the truth?
Hell no!
Yeah,
they already have. They gave a lot of that money to.
But it's funny.
And,
do you guys talk about the media much on this podcast?
Sometimes.
Do
We
you?
come on
Okay, I'm
topics
just
like
curious. I was like, were you lining this up? Because you're like, oh, I bet Dave wants to talk about these podcast guys getting paid.
No, well, the reason I brought it up was because I wanted to get the shameless plug that we need a deal, but also because I was going to let you introduce yourself. I figured this was a good segue for you to introduce yourself.
Oh, well, I'm Dave.
Yeah, but tell them what you do, Dave. What do you do?
I'm a high school basketball coach and former professional wrestler. By trade, those are by trade. That's what I do.
And oil salesman.
Yes, yeah.
At a wedding.
But you podcast as well, right?
And I do podcasts. Yep.
So what are those podcasts?
And I've sold oil at weddings. I podcast for a little sports media company called The Athletic. I'm on The Athletic NBA show. It's fun, man. It's a great job. It's fun. It didn't exist. Hey, it didn't exist when I was back then, like breaking my neck.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how bad, how awful we would have been at podcasting if we had been doing it back then.
It'd been no chemistry, it'd been all over the place, it'd been nonstop rambling and getting mad at your friends for not listening. That's what it would have been.
Yeah.
We would have spent the whole time just making fun of each other.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Just
Yeah,
joning.
pretty much. I mean, honestly, not too different.
I'm still not good at it.
Started here.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm still not good at it. I think
But,
we're still
hey,
here working on this years later.
I didn't know Mike was going to be here. Mike, did you see this guy hit 106 on the gun yesterday?
I did.
What?
I hope it lasts. I hope the arm lasts. That's all I'm saying. You don't see those guys stick around too often.
That's it right there.
It's exciting to watch when you get a chance.
It's crazy.
Yep, absolutely. He was doing it in college though. He's not a whole lot different than what he was doing at Tennessee a couple of years ago. So it's always nice to every 5 years. Ben Joyce.
Ben Joyce.
Angels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit 105.5 miles an hour.
Just out there throwing fireballs.
Thinking of Bobby Jenks when we had him at the White Sox when we were somebodies, he was doing about 100,
Hey, you're winning right now.
We are?
Yep.
Please.
Yep.
I can't take this.
You're up right now.
We'll find a way to lose. Mark my words. We'll find a way to lose. We've been doing it all year.
Oh, we'll be talking about your White Sox misery just in a tiny bit. Don't worry about that.
I'll have bad reception when that happens too.
Yeah, but Ben Joyce was out there. He's been throwing flame all year, 103 to 106 at all times. That's crazy. Yeah, but I agree with Mike. That arm doesn't last if you keep doing that. So, did you have any other comments on the podcasting stuff, Dave, before we move on?
No. Not really. I'm not into podcasts like that.
Okay. Even though that's what you do, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I actually listen, man. I listen to very few podcasts. I listen to more audiobooks than podcasts. I watch basketball games. Yeah. That's about it. I'm in apparently 2 fantasy football leagues that I was kind of pushed into, and I have not looked at either of the auto drafted teams that I'm supposed to manage this year. So like, that's where I'm at.
I'm part of a blind league that someone asked me at our draft to be part of. I had no idea I was in it. And then I was like, oh, I might have to check and see what the hell my roster is.
Excuse me, sir. I said, do you want to be in my blind draft league? It's $50. And you said yes. Okay. It took you a couple minutes to think about it, but you said yes.
I was like, I didn't remember it, but I guess I'm in it. And he was like, well, if you don't want to be in, see if you can find somebody. Motherfucker, it's one day until the goddamn season starts. We're gonna find do that. Get out of here. Okay. Do that bullshit.
I'm just saying. I mean, remember next time. I don't know what to tell you. All right. So moving on. Next topic here. We've had a real Netflix special this past weekend. The Labor Day hot dog eating contest. Joey Chestnut. Yes, he ate 83, as an article put it, glizzies, which I absolutely hate that word. But 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes versus his nemesis Kobayashi that had 66 in 10 minutes. Anyone have any comments on this crazy event we had this weekend?
Well, I got a one-word comment. Ew. You couldn't pay me to watch some dude eat 85 hot dogs or whatever in 10 minutes. That is wild activity to sit there and anticipate watching that. It's one thing to do it, July 4th when there's 50 people doing it, but to just sit there and watch 2 dudes deep throating Nathan's hot dog, I'm good.
I don't want to watch the person I'm at dinner with eat.
Yeah.
Much less some person I don't know on television in 4K, ultra high def, zoomed into their mouth, watching them dunk those buns into the water and just sling those just soggy ass buns down their throat. Disgusting.
With the bun water just dripping all over.
Omar, Deion, guys, Mike, I know you guys, I know that secretly you guys brought me here for my societal commentary. And if I may, I will say the food sort of eating contest situation, that whole league is one sign of the gluttony of modern society. I put it right up there with do you know about mukbang videos where these people eat on camera?
Yep.
If that isn't just some of the final throes of societal decay, I don't know what is. This is honestly like the alternate 1985's 2024, right? Like from Back to the Future 2. Remember when Biff was president and no. But we have just played this out on the alternate 1985 timeline. Like, I mean, everything is just gambling everywhere. It's all disgusting. People eating, and that's entertainment.
The internet has unlocked everything. You got to understand, Dave. We got people that you said mukbang that like to watch others eat for some reason. I guess they're hungry. Like they don't do you match the food? Like, all right, it's chicken night. We're all eat chicken together.
That's disgusting.
You got OnlyFans models. You got Instagram girls who just get fake butts and fake boobs and make a lot of money by showing off, a side boob for a bunch of dusty dudes who don't get girls.
They could be eating hot dogs instead. Imagine if they were applying themselves and eating hot dogs instead.
Yeah, now that's not.
They could be talked about on podcasts the world over.
You got something right there. Instagram models that are doing hot dog eating contests. Okay.
Yeah.
Or eating contests.
Okay. They're going to print money with that idea.
We take the AI and we make it. We have the AI make it, and we get one step closer to Wally, where we're all just in the pod.
Hey, Mike. Now you're speaking my language now, Mike, because Wally was actually that movie. People talk about Idiocracy all the time and how that nailed it. No, go watch Wally again and go watch. That's the end of the society that just says, you know what? Global warming, turn it up.
Yep.
Oh,
I'll do all my job.
Diabetes, let's go. Let me inject that into my brain. You know what I mean? It's kind of where we're heading. Wally is like the underrated disaster movie that nobody talks about.
I mean, I will say Idiocracy is one of my favorite movies of all time and definitely is representing what society is headed to as well in some form or fashion. Yeah, so Derek agrees. Shout out D-Clubs, the Ridge. All right. And finally, I had one last warm-up question for us before we get to some NBA topics. Olympic gold medalist Noah Lyles was challenged by Tyreek Hill to a 50-meter dash in which he said he could win. Noah Lyles said if he raced him in a 100-meter dash, the legit race, that would be the only way he would race him, but he would accept the challenge. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on this, and who do you think would actually win in a 50-meter race? Not the 100, because we know who will win the 100.
Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. One of them's an Olympian. The other one can run pretty fast with pads on.
There you go.
I mean,
There you go.
Tyreek Hill's combine time was like 4.29. This dude thinks he's an Olympic sprint. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. It's another one I'm not watching. So
Exactly.
put that in the queue right below the hot dog contest. Watching. I'm a pretty good Madden player. Maybe I'll take Tyreek Hill on.
Here's what I'll say. Last year, Tyreek Hill ran a 60-meter indoor race in 6.7 seconds.
Okay.
60 meters in 6.7.
That's not great.
Probably not good enough to beat Noah Lyles.
Exactly.
Noah Lyles only running 50 meters. That's a training sprint for him. He's probably running like 8 of those in a practice sometimes. I mean, the 20, 30 meter sprints are one thing. Like, I feel like 50 meters for Noah Lyles might not even sweat.
Well, I mean, it sounds cute. It's basically like back in the day when they're like, oh, maybe the and one people can beat NBA teams. Yeah. No, they can't. No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Put 2-pound ankle weights on Lyles, and then we got a race. Put some.
Now, I guess you would at least have to give him credit for thinking he could win because of the fact that maybe he's thinking in a shorter race, not the 100, which is what he's.
No, hang on. Right. You know what? I think I can beat Mike Tyson.
Okay, got it.
I can beat him.
Well, you podcast.
Give me some credit.
You podcast.
Podcasters
are fighting them now, so that's a start.
That's true.
You're already kind of moving in the right direction.
I don't know if I can get back up to heavyweight, guys. I might be too old for that.
Call out Floyd. He's about 150. Call him out.
Hey, fire the ref. You can't beat Floyd. He'll fire in the middle of the match.
One of my podcasting buddies, he already called dibs on Floyd.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, hey,
you're right. Yeah, you podcasters say whatever you want.
Yeah, say whatever you want. You'll get it. Look at Jake. Look at his brother.
Yeah, definitely don't want any part of Mike Tyson at all or any of them. But I hear you. It's just it's a different league that they're in, is what everybody I think is saying. So, all right. Well, let's move into topic du jour while we have Jafar. You like how I did that there? That was just bars. I don't know. It just came. But anyways, Ant-Man versus. I mean, it was pretty good for just. I was off the dome.
It's not bad off the dome, but I mean,
we're. All right. I tried.
Yeah.
All right. So Ant-Man versus Magic is the hot topic of the NBA offseason. Anthony Edwards had some opinions about the generations of old, although we must preface this topic with saying that he also admitted that he didn't watch it. Now, I don't mean that means he didn't watch it completely or only watched a little bit, but either way, he said it in a way that, in my eyes, thinks maybe his opinion should be thought of a little less than. That being said, Magic Johnson had a retort, say he didn't want to hear from anyone that didn't win any championships, and that he didn't even think that he won a high school championship. And then he was also bodied by Isaiah Thomas, Kevin Garnett, among others in the old generation. So, Dave, NBA, we'll start with you, brother. What are your thoughts on this topic? I have a feeling it's going to be similar to what we just rapped about.
I mean, well, there's a few things. Number one, I don't think Anthony Edwards is completely way off base. I think just the way it came out was not correct. To say they weren't skilled is actually it's not right. I don't think that there's any argument that the guys that play now, top to bottom, it's a way more skillful league. You could, and I'll say this publicly, I say it privately all the time. You grab the 15th man off off some team. You drop him in a time machine back to 1975, and he is going to give those guys the business. Like, it is a wrap. He knows how to dribble. He knows how to shoot, knows how to score, knows how to do everything. And he's probably 6'7". So it's just a completely different game. It's why I don't do cross era comparison. There's really no reason. Here's the other thing, man. Anthony Edwards was born a month before 9/11.
Wow.
Like,
jeez.
Why is if we didn't exist in the media environment that we live in now, we don't talk about any of this shit. None of it. Most guys his age, we say what? Well, he's dumb. Now, I'm not calling the guy dumb, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a kid.
He's young.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, this idea that just because he's good at basketball, his knowledge about the history of the NBA, even honestly, just knowledge about the sport. There's plenty of players who didn't even know why they were good at basketball. Dwight Howard wouldn't set screens for Steve Nash. Dwight Howard he's one of the 5 best pick and roll bigs ever. And Steve Nash is probably one of the 3 best pick and roll ball handlers ever. And Dwight Howard wanted post-ups all the time and wouldn't screen for Steve Nash. So, like, man, I take everything that every player says with a grain of salt. Every player. All of them have their own agenda. And I would say that of the guys that are young and talking now, like, Anthony Edwards is the most willing to just kind of say what's on his mind. And that makes me think, like, there's no agenda here for him, right?
Right.
I think he's just talking a little shit and just saying what's on his mind. But if we didn't have this thing where it's like, hey, we got to talk about something today, and it's not you guys, it's the guys on TV. It's it's me. I am the problem because I have nothing else to talk about. So let me talk about Anthony Edwards and how disrespectful he is. And really what it is a chance for me to just remember a guy. I could be like, okay, Magic Johnson, skillful.
I think there's a lot of nuance in it that people don't talk about when they do these cross-era comparisons, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's for me, it's safe to say that if you took Anthony Edwards now, put him in that time machine and dropped him in 1990, and he was going man-to-man against Clyde Drexler with hand checking when you couldn't play zone defense, I think Clyde would body him.
No.
Right? Clyde could physically handle him defensively.
I think Anthony Edwards would absolutely wipe the floor.
I don't think Anthony Edwards would be able to play defense. I think Clyde would just push him around, beat his butt all over the court. And two,
we talking pre-hairline or after the?
Oh, post bald.
Okay.
Bald, iceberg slim.
The gentleman's face.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think Clyde Drexler could stay in front of Anthony.
Even
with hand checking,
handle these hand checks. They can't. Thank you, Derek.
Look, I'll say this. When you watch these guys play internationally, they allow hand checking. Like they do allow hand checking. And Anthony Edwards, you watch him in the Olympics, he's playing up against some of the best in the world. And this is team defense because remember the bigs in international basketball can camp in the lane, and he is getting to the basket at will. And these guys are more athletic than Clyde Drexler.
They're more athletic, but not as physical though. That's
not internationally. Internationally, they are more physical than the NBA on the perimeter defense. It's the way it's officiated.
Well, yeah, now, but not back when Barkley and Malone and people like that were doing it.
I'm saying that the NBA then and the international FIBA style of play are way closer than you guys would think. They're way closer.
I agree to disagree, Dave. I think that if you drop him back in a time in the 90s, I think he would get his stuff off. I think the issue now with a lot of young guys, and basketball is one of those sports where the younger generation don't really respect the older generation because the game has evolved. Unlike boxing, where the younger generation, they respect the old way of boxing because boxing is not going to change where we just fight.
It has evolved though, but they respect the evolution of boxing in a different way. I actually think that you won't get anybody talking trash about Roberto Duran though. No, Deion, this is a really good line of thinking because I think that this has been fed by the older generation of haters hating on the young guys in the league, and these young guys saying, you know what, that dude was a plumber.
Yeah.
Right? That's the thing.
Well,
the NBA, this is where, again, Allen Iverson, one of the few older guys who was out there just, hey, man, I love the NBA at every turn, right? I love these guys. I love what they're doing, never hating on them. And now you have guys like KG, who's not a hater, although Paul Pierce tries to be. There's been like I think there's a little bit of a shift, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's why you get some of these younger guys who, and then not only that, but like, I don't know if you guys saw the Derek Lively stuff with Rudy Gobert. Players are just, it seems, way more willing to shit talk each other on a podcast.
Yeah.
Than any of us probably imagine. And I think it's because there's too many podcasts. Yeah, who cares? Yeah. I don't know. I'd rather just shit talk you in real life.
Well, I like about Brian Scalabrine, Mike Wheby's cousin, who is playing all the podcasters who talk shit about him one-on-one and bodying them. He is killing these guys. I don't know if y'all noticed that.
I would destroy Brian Scalabrine. I'm
telling you right now, Scalabrine, any podcast that talks shit, he invites him to the he's like, I'm 43 and he busting upside the head. I'm telling you.
Tell him
that shit is hilarious.
Don't.
Hey, Scals, you hear that up in Boston? You hear that?
Don't let the Red Mamba come
Mr.
out.
DeFlores is calling you out.
Represent for your redheads, Wheby. Represent. Right. Come on now.
Yeah, you get twice the ugly and twice everything else. You know all about
Fire
that.
Your writers, Bajo. Fire your writer. All right, keep it going.
So I mean, I think I agree a little bit with both sides. I definitely agree that there's a lot of hate from both sides of this equation. The young guys hating on the older, and it comes to that whole divergence of the LeBron and Michael Jordan GOAT debate. Really, when it all comes down to it, debate. That's kind of like the genesis of this debate.
I don't have that debate. I don't have that debate.
Well, some people do. I don't either. Some people do.
There's no debate. There's no debate. Steph Curry
they don't know.
So we can just move on.
Wait, what?
Steph Curry is the greatest basketball player ever. That's it.
Please continue.
No. I've done this too many times. I'm not going to put you through it. Just that there has never been a player in the universe to ever scare the hell out of the opponent the way Steph Curry does. He caused an evolution in the sport never seen before. Never seen.
Agreed.
And from top to bottom and at every division and league on the planet, changed the sport. Period.
One thing I will say about Steph Curry is that I've always said this from day one. When he came into the league, he had to figure it out. He wasn't gifted with the physical attributes like others. He had they were like, what, he can't guard him, but they thought he was gonna be like a JJ Redick type. And he carved a lane. And like you said, Dave, he has changed the game. You know, you got big dudes shooting half-court shots, you know what I'm saying? Back when we were playing, get your big ass down low, you know, post up. Now, you know, you
draw a straight line from Steph Curry to the way that Victor Wembanyama plays. Steph Curry is little Shaq when you think about how he plays on the basketball court, right? All five guys and everyone on the bench has to pay attention to Steph Curry the same way they did Shaq. It's just been reversed as far as where the gravity exists. With Shaq, like if Shaq played now with his internal gravity, imagine the kick-out game that Shaq could average 12 assists a game. Easy. In today's
side note, I got to ask you this, Dave. Okay, you too, Wheby, and all y'all. And I always, if you had a chance to pick a team, right, and you had one center to pick, you had either Shaq or Hakeem. Who are you picking?
I'm taking Shaq. You could see Hakeem, but I'm taking Shaq.
I'm taking Hakeem
every single time.
I'm taking Hakeem too, just because he has the move set. Like
my argument is, yes, Shaq was dominant, but if that's my first pick, I'm not taking my best guy out the game because he can't make a free throw in crunch times.
Nah,
that's the problem too. That's why I would take Hakeem.
All right. Yeah, they didn't double team Hakeem every time he touched the ball. Shaq was the most dominant player I've ever seen.
Shaq
he was.
3-point shooters. Listen, man, if you like Shaq in a modern environment right now, Shaq with a bunch of 3-point shooters,
be tough.
It's kind of like Jokic a little bit.
Yeah, but Hakeem was
because Jokic is so dominant.
He cooked David Robinson and I think Shaq that year during Ramadan.
I would say this though. I mean, it's a little bit of a different, and this is
so
where
stupid.
This is where it gets.
It's true. That was during Ramadan. He was cooking them,
right?
I know. Killing them.
Some of the stuff with like, I think Hakeem really benefited a lot from illegal defense rules, and I'm not taking anything away because obviously I think he's like one of the 8 or 9 best players to ever play. But he got like offensively, I think the illegal defense stuff helped. Like now, like they would they would load up. He would be forced to become a passer way more often. I actually think if Hakeem is a guy who would be a totally different player now.
He could play now.
He would be. I mean, would he be Kevin Durant light? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
You think about the way he moves on his feet. Clearly had a jump shot. You think about just the difference in style of play now. Like if a guy like him was coming up with his skills, what does that even look like now? This is why I don't do the cross era comparisons.
I like the Robert Williams. I like the Robert Williams.
Hakeem will always be a Raptor to me, just like Pat Ewing will always be a Magic. What? Who said that?
Yeah, the rule changes really. They're different games. They're totally different games.
It makes everything really get because I can have a hypothetical where I create this perfect environment for I don't know, Bill Bradley. If you take Bill Bradley now and you put him in training when he's 5 years old, maybe he's a stretch 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can do this all day, and that's why it's better. Like I think it's better when the old players look at the young guys and say, "Wow, look at how different this is from us." You can see where like no one ever mentions like Mark Price and some of the stuff that he was doing, splitting pick and rolls, and how now every point guard does that. It came from Mark Price. But all anybody ever thinks about him with is shooting free throws.
They just don't want to be forgotten nowadays. Now that everyone has a podcast, a lot of the old players.
There's a lot of ego stuff in this, right? And this is the thing about sports, right? Like we used to go through like sports death used to happen a little bit differently, where guys would retire and they just go away. And now that doesn't happen. Yeah. These guys, not only do I know too much about them while they're playing, they never disappear anymore. And I think that creates a lot of this intergenerational conflict. I don't ever think about this stuff though. So
I need a Jerome Kersey podcast. I need Jerome Kersey, Wesley Person's podcast. Person. I need a radical man. I need him. Pause.
Before I ask this follow-up question,
I just don't think Jerome Kersey's going to do a podcast.
Yeah, maybe Terry Porter. Who never know?
Yeah.
Jerome died
like 10 years ago.
Oh shit! You're right.
Shit.
Damn.
Rest in peace.
Dark moment.
No, he's
all right. A little morbid on the podcast. That's what we're
great white north.
My bad.
Thank you.
I should have put that in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting us. Oh man. Before I get to my follow-up, which I guess I can't really ask anymore because you said you don't like intergenerational comps, but I'm going to ask.
You can ask. It's fine, but I'm just saying, like it just I can talk in circles on that stuff all day long.
Okay. Before I get to that, I will say I agree with you that Steph is a generational player that has changed the game in terms of the way that it's played. Similar to, and we'll talk about her in a second, Caitlin Clark, similar to how she did. But I'm not going to call Caitlin Clark the GOAT, even when it's all said and done. Michael Jordan was just so much of a dominant player and so much more skilled than, in my eyes, everyone. And I'm a Larry Bird's my favorite player of all time. Everybody knows that.
You're like two.
What does that mean? I can't enjoy old basketball? Do you are you Anthony Edwards now?
You watch highlights. You watch highlights. Don't act like you watch the game.
Now, Larry Bird really, I mean, he was like, doing asphalt. So you can't say he was a plumber.
Ronald McDonald, no muscle mass.
He was a skilled ass plumber. If he was a plumber, I'll tell you that damn much. Anyways, all right. So let's think about this. I wanted to talk about just the skill portion of this. Take him versus Magic. Anthony Edwards versus Magic. Not talking about stats, even though I have them. What do you think skill wise?
I mean, I just like. Are we honestly just going head to head because Anthony Edwards is probably a better dribbler, better jumper, better shooter. Like, there's a good chance Anthony Edwards, like, he might one day pass Steph Curry for all-time three-pointers. I don't know if you look at the rate at which he makes three-pointers. He shoots a lot of threes. I mean, he'd have to play for a long time because Steph has just done crazy numbers. But I mean, he's going to be one of the most prolific three-point shooters ever. It's a different era. This is and Magic was not a good shooter, but he was a good shooter, good enough shooter, I should say, for that era. But like, look at his jumper. He barely had a left hand.
He's like Jordan, barely had a left.
Well, and that was always my thing about Clyde Drexler. He just
no left hand.
No left.
None.
So this is, again, difference in the sport, man. You take everybody in the NBA now, like, there are just so few scrubs. And even the scrubs are not actually scrubs. They're just scrubs compared to some of the other guys in the league.
But remember when Magic came back in the 90s and he was trying to do those look passes? Man, make it take that shit to the 80s, man. Get out. It was like so slow.
Although
like,
low-key, Fat Magic was cooler. Like Fat Magic was kind of cool. Remember when he was like
center.
Posting up? He was
Magic playing center. Like, bro.
Yeah.
He was trying to do those like, bro, we saw that, granddad. We put the ball between your legs, do one of those. Like, we know what you're doing. Like Sean Kemp, like trying to guard him. Like, man, get out of here, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That shit ain't working.
Exactly. That's what, and that is a perfect example. That Fat Magic versus Sean Kemp is a great example of why you can't do this stuff.
Bigger, faster, stronger. You explained it. Bigger, faster, stronger. Now,
if you take that matchup and you take it off the court, there's a lot of extracurriculars happening that I don't know if we want to get into. But definitely breaking records.
Oh, man. All right, so just to back you up on that, though, Ant-Man does shoot 52% from the field. Magic shot 46 for their careers. Magic 25-5, Ant-Man 27-11. So that was a great conversation.
What, 24?
Wait,
hang on. Himself
just give me points and rebounds.
I was just stating the stats. I was not to add anything else to the conversation.
It feels a little disrespectful to compare Anthony Edwards to Magic freaking Johnson, one of the.
I agree with that completely. I actually agree with that completely because Magic Johnson had a career. I mean, let's just say Anthony Edwards hasn't done enough yet for us to think about this stuff.
Right.
With that being said, if you put Anthony Edwards one-on-one against prime Magic Johnson, I mean, physically it's much closer than anybody would think, even though
rules are we playing?
Anthony Edwards is actually really big too. I don't know, man. I just think that these guys today, they're just the training, the bodies. I mean, it's so different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the money is the money wasn't what it used to be. And like, I try to lay this out there as context. People take offense, and it's like, you weren't getting real rich in the NBA or around the NBA in the 80s. The money didn't come until Michael, right? Like, and now the money is insane. The money that these guys make, like, you can't even wrap your head around. Like, the average person could never even spend this amount of money, much less make it. And so,
ask Antoine Walker.
Fair. That being said, but like the money part of this has driven the rise in skill training, and I mean, there are kids on freaking sleep schedules and eating meal prep at like 8 years old, right? Like the grind starts early now, and this is why you're going to get a lot more Coopers and Chets in the NBA. By the way, just FYI, the upper middle classification of sports is coming.
I
believe it.
Brought on by money.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just this is why it's so different. So Anthony Edwards benefits from being a product of his time, sort of like us, right? 20 years ago, podcast didn't exist. We would just be sitting around a bunch of dummies talking about Magic Johnson.
Sending letters to each other.
Because Anthony Edwards was like 4, by the way, and has no idea what Magic Johnson was like as a player.
Messages back and forth. Like, we're cool.
Omar, update your aim away message.
Stop leaving that away message up. She's not watching.
Fantastic R33. That is still my AIM messenger. If you want to message me, I don't have it, so don't do it. But that was the name.
Look like you still got the same resolution from AIM.
You know what? All right, and on that note, I knew that was coming. I'm going to quickly restart my computer.
BlackBerry.
I don't understand what's happening.
Webcam over here.
Hey, BBM was it when I had BlackBerry, man. Woo.
We do have a mailbag question for you, Dave, and it's actually about your guy you just talked about, Steph Curry. And this asks about the Warriors breakup. So they just basically, and shout out to Bay Area Cooks. And they ask, what is going on with the Warriors breakup with Klay Thompson leaving? Draymond and Steph both have their contracts to be expired at the same time.
Steph just extended. I mean, Steph is 36 years old. I understand that we've kind of like everything is perpetual, but at a certain point, these guys age out. Steph is getting old. He's lost a step or two. Draymond is clearly lost a step. Although when for some reason he can flip a switch for moments here. This stuff ends. But I think that the Team USA stuff is kind of interesting from this summer. And I don't know, these guys talk a lot.
It's the natural order. It happens to everyone. I mean, in every league, every super team, salary caps. If your league's cap, it's going to happen eventually.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how these teams become super teams in the beginning, because you get young guys on nice contracts that can help the team, and you can build around them. And then this is what happens. To
your point, I mean, they don't get Kevin Durant if Steph Curry doesn't have ankle surgery and take that 4-year, $44 million contract in 2013.
Right.
I mean, and then if you don't have a historic cap spike that allows you to have the space under the cap. Now, that being said, there's a lot of stories out there that they would have been able to figure out a way to still get him in without that spike. But
what about the luxury tax NBA has? Do some teams, like I'm a Suns fan, and our luxury tax is pretty crazy. Now. Yeah, so they kind of changed it. Like it's not as
so now there's multiple levels to the tax, and it gets more punitive. And so when you get into this thing, and not to like bog you guys down with some boring stuff, but there's this thing called the second apron, which is where Phoenix finds himself. You can't like really make trades. It's very difficult. You can't sign buyout players. You can't trade draft pick. Like it just gets to be pretty punitive.
Oh, we're done
as far as team building goes. But who knows how real any of that stuff is? Like I'm not sure yet, because this is the first season that we're really dealing with it. They just did the new CBA. So
okay,
yeah.
Well, what about your Wizards, Mike? How you feeling about those? About them?
I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, they're in a better place today than they were a year ago.
Yeah.
You've got some organizational clarity.
And traded Beal a year too late, but at least they did it.
Okay, but
they did it though.
He
had an untradeable contract and they moved it.
At least they blew it up. They did the right thing eventually.
Yeah. I mean, if you could build a time machine, you never give Beal that contract. You move him before that contract. And to having the owner of the team undercut the GM and offer a no trade clause to Bradley Beal.
Yeah, that was tough.
Is insane. That's insane.
Well, yep. And veto rights on anything, period. All of it. So it was tough.
Now I'm reading about on Sun stuff. Like we're talking about, like they're talking about John Wall's looking good. We should sign him. I was like, man, no, not at all.
No.
Please don't. Like I might come out of retirement. You know what I'm saying? I give you about 6 good fouls. You know what I'm saying? That's it. 6 good fouls and I'll be out the game. That's it. Nothing crazy. Thinking about it.
All right.
Welcome back.
Cool, Mike. Hey, Mike, you are glitching really hard right now in the Matrix. I'm gonna remove you real quick and bring you back in a second. Just want to see if this works, because he was glitching at the bottom. No? Okay, it didn't work. Sorry, Mike. I just wanted to see if that worked.
It's the Matrix. It's okay.
Anyways.
Yeah. We still here.
All right.
Whoa.
Well, moving on.
Yeah. I heard Salter shaking the head, Dave.
The other
oh no, we lost Omar, I think.
But anyways, all right.
It's amazing.
Got one from
Bottom Line.
Derek. What up? What up, Bottom Line? Flo, Canteen, Hot Take, Jake. Let's see. So saying. 49ers got Trent back. Yep, they signed him to a new deal. Deion, you got any comments on that?
I mean, it was going to happen. I know, it was going to happen. He showed up. His brother posted a picture the other day, or was it yesterday? So, I'm thinking, did y'all even talk about Ricky Purcell getting shot? Y'all talk about that? Omar?
No, we were gonna. I was thinking about talking about it, but then
because IU got signed when I was on with Wildcard Mar, but that was pretty wild. But yeah, Purcell getting shot, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I was going to bring it up on the show later, but I figured with what happened today, probably just I was going to omit it.
We got to make an exit for somebody.
I gotta drop out. I got a dinner coming up, actually with Larry Kuhn, who does the CBA FAQ for the NBA stuff. So,
big timer, okay, big timer.
Well, no, he's my very close friend who's coming. He's bringing scotch, so we're gonna have some scotch. Go have some dinner. Yeah, man. When you guys coming out to Long Beach?
Who's paying?
You guys got y'all on a live show tour? Oh, I'll pay.
Okay, just make sure.
He just retired, so I got to take him out. You guys are doing the podcast tour, right?
We can. We'll be in Vegas next year. I know that.
There you go. Got to come out.
We can definitely do Long Beach. You know what I'm saying? We got some fun out there.
Awesome. Well, this was fun. I appreciate you guys, and we'll do this again.
All right, brother.
Hey.
All right.
Hey, Dave. Thank you so much for coming on. If you want to promote it, what is that? If you.
I did promote it. This is because I'm on a Mac.
Your Twitter or whatever channel, whatever.
What if I could do that?
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, cool.
That's not. Maybe.
Hey, thanks for having us, and we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Guy Dave, my man.
Take care.
All right, brother.
Miss you guys.
We'll see him around Thanksgiving. Hopefully, he comes back to the area. We'll get to see him again.
All right. Yeah. Hopefully, like I said, I talked to JFL. And I told him I think we should do it again this year. So hopefully we can get that scheduled again like we did last year. That would be so cool. Dave is the greatest. I mean, I've heard that been said about him before.
I heard it. Derek was there. We heard that stuff. It was hilarious.
So what I was going to ask Dave though before he left, and unfortunately we didn't get to ask him this, but that's okay. I'm sure he'll say it on one of his shows. By the way, go check out Dave on The Athletic. I love The Athletic. I read their content all the time, so good stuff there. Who do y'all think now, and this question actually came from Clever D, but who do y'all think now is the future face of the NBA? Whoever wants to go.
I think it's Wheby, and I don't think it's particularly close. He's the most interesting player. He's got an interesting look. He's got an interesting game. He's great with the public. He doesn't seem to be too abrasive. I think Wemby's going to be the future of the league. I think they're going to put everything on his back.
Okay.
I'm going to go with it.
LBJ. Wow, I don't know about that.
I'm going to Ant-Man because Wheby. I think maybe, but I'm not sure. Is his English as good as they want it to be? He could be like the correspondent as far as getting more of a European crowd, even though it's growing and growing. Overseas.
I wish they weren't in the cities they're in. I wish they weren't in Minneapolis and San Antonio.
Yeah, it's just those. Well, San Antonio's not a bad market, but Minnesota's just not a good market for Ant-Man. If he was like in New York or Los Angeles, it'd been crazy.
Yeah, it's like trying to watch Ohtani. Like half the country doesn't get to see him. Yeah, the games start at 10:30. For all the East Coast people, you just don't get a chance to. You don't get a chance to see the greatness. So,
but that market is crazy out there. That's why he went to LA. So I mean,
we saw the contract.
yeah, pretty crazy. To not even pitch, I think. Jesus Christ.
How about you, Omar? Who you got? Who you think?
Yeah, we're about to talk about Ohtani in just a second. But yeah, so I agree with you, Mike, in the fact that it would be Wemby. But I also hear what Clever D, Deion. I'm so used to saying Clever D, but now your name is out there all over the show today. Now that I agree with that part of it though. Like you've got to be able to speak English. He doesn't speak English, and you got to be able to speak. I would give it to Tatum, but Tatum doesn't ever say anything. He's too quiet. I would give it to Ant-Man, but like you said, he's in Minnesota. So if I had to choose anyone, I guess it would be Ant-Man because he's really the only one that talks. True. You got to talk to be a face of the frat. Now,
but his off-court stuff is stupid though. He does some off-court stuff, which isn't that great. You know what I'm saying? Wemby is more of a kind of like what Sheffield said about like Dominican and Puerto Rican players, that they can kind of control them more than the black players in baseball. Wemby's not gonna do all that foolishness that Ant-Man and other American players might do. So I can see them trying to push him because he's not get all that off the field stuff, or off the court, whatever.
Sure, yeah. If he can learn better English, he could definitely be pushed as the face. And that's like I said, if Tatum would just start talking out more, he could be pushed as well.
He's such a corn.
And Luka, if Luka learned English, Luka could be pushed.
Nobody cares about Jason Tatum.
Yeah, Tatum is.
Celtics fans. Nobody cares. Only Celtics fans care about. about
exactly.
Jason.
Like nobody. Like I think he's good. I think he's a good player. Don't get me
Hold
wrong,
that up
but
there one more time.
he's trying to. He tries
awesome.
too hard, man. He tries too hard. Like it's just man. Like,
Oh, here comes the hot take Jakester.
Add that. I would say 2 cents, but he's adding 1 cent.
Look, Omar, that
Jake,
take took
get out of here. No, I know. I just had to give my man a shout out. So Flo says, I think Ant-Man, if not, maybe Luca. Again, if Luca learns better English or Wheby, possibly. And then you got, yeah, I know. I was just caping for my boy. Okay, calm down. All right. And then the last question or the other question I was gonna ask him before we move on to baseball: who are your early finals predictions this year, gentlemen, or your championship team, whatever you want to go with? Doesn't really matter.
NBA.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, I was gonna ask an expert, so I was hoping that you would have.
We had it for a certain amount of time. Oh shit. I mean, have they even started preseason yet for NBA? Yes. I mean, come on. I don't know.
Yeah, I got nothing too. I like.
I got nothing right there.
I like the Knicks on my radar right now. Get Knicks being healthy, a good little run in the East, but it's too early.
Yeah.
Well, good segue there. Let's move on to baseball then. And you actually had somewhere we were going to go anyways. The Yankees.
He's waiting to hijack the show. Look at him.
I know.
Look a little hyena.
This was actually that's stupid. This was actually submitted by Clubber D as well, but he wanted to ask about your Orioles versus Yankees. So how do you feel about your Orioles this year? And do you have a chance to overtake the Yankees? Hot take, Jake.
No. Overtake we are the division champions. We're not overtaking anybody.
Well, okay.
They're not overtaking
a fact.
the division champions, right? So they're not overtaking. All right. I feel fine. I'd feel a lot better if 4 of our starting 5 weren't on the IL right now, but we're still in first place in September, bringing a mash unit out there trying to win. Both of those teams, they're incredibly imperfect. I mean, every team is incredibly imperfect. I don't think there's going to be a team that's going to win 100 games. It's so strange.
What about lose 100 games?
Well, I think that one. But, yeah, but I mean, there's just this blob of imperfect teams that are going to make the playoffs, and I think it's going to really just be a crapshoot who gets hot at the right time. I mean, you saw 2 wildcard teams last year. I think anybody that makes it in has the same amount of shot as the other team. I mean, the hottest team right now is Houston, and they've got like 15 wins less than Baltimore and the Yankees. So, and I don't think there's anyone that's going to say that Baltimore or the Yankees are better than Houston right now. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a wild offseason. It's going to be flip a coin, roll some dice, see who's going to win.
Yeah, I agree with you because I actually read a stat earlier this year. We're probably going to have 300 lost teams with obviously the White Sox, the Marlins, and I forget who the other team was. But that we probably won't have any 100-win teams at all. So you're right about that. So then let's go dive a little bit further into the AL East here, and let's get to a couple players that are really important, and then we'll get back to your World Series prediction at the end. But Shohei Ohtani is going for 50 club, 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases, would be the first person ever to even get 45-45. He's actually the first person to get 43-43, which he just did the other day. Now he has 45 home runs and 43 stolen bases. Most likely he is going to hit that 50-50 mark. What do you think about that? And then also I want you to juxtapose that versus Aaron Judge, who is still on pace to break his record from last year of 62 with 63 home runs. So go ahead and give us a little comparison. And obviously it's not going to be all comparison, but tell us how you feel about these players and what they do.
It's incredible what Ohtani's doing. He's doing something that's never been done before. And Aaron Judge is having one of the best seasons anyone has ever seen in the history of the game. But if you're looking at just what he's doing with the home runs, how many 6 players have 60 home runs? 5 players have hit 60 home runs? No one's 50-50. It's never happened. So I think Judge's season overall is a better statistical season. I'd rather have a guy putting up Aaron Judge's numbers than someone putting up Ohtani's numbers. But it's very impressive. But Ohtani going 50-50 it's never been done before.
Yeah.
A one of one. It's incredible. Every year, just when you think, oh, he can't be a unicorn this year because he's not pitching, hey, it's cool. Let's go out there, go 50-50 this year. I'll be back next year pitching. We'll just get that 50-50 this year.
Clever D?
It's I 100% agree with Mike. You know, it's kind of like, you know, Westbrook when he kind of almost did the Oscar Robertson with the triple double. You know, something that you don't see. You know, something that's obviously the triple double was average for a season was done, but you know, in our lifetime we never see anything like that. And what Ohtani's doing,
right?
Who knows the next time we'll see something like this? And he's not even pitching, like Mike said. So I lean towards him because that's phenomenal. You know, you got to tip your hat to that.
He's so exciting, man. He's so fast, and it's not just the stolen bases. It's you know, taking a single and turning it into a double, taking a double and turning it into a triple, taking a you know, a shallow sacrifice fly and stealing a base off of it, like grabbing third base off of it. It really is very impressive the way the guy plays. It's not just, you know, stat hoarding like what Russell Westbrook was doing. He was just hoarding stats. This guy's not doing this. He's helping his team win games because that lineup is flawed. Even though it has 3-4 Hall of Famers in it, they need him. They need him to be doing what he's doing.
Yeah, Flo says, I hope he gets to 60-60, makes a record that never be broken. That's not going to happen. He doesn't have enough time. I don't even think he could get that hot.
Man,
I mean,
don't test him.
I mean, 15 home runs in 1 month is very. I don't even think that's ever been done. But you know, hey,
if you're playing the show, you could do that.
Well, don't forget he missed some time at the beginning of the season too.
Yeah.
So maybe not on the table this year, but next year, who knows?
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
And yeah, and you're right. Just both of what you said, the sheer magnitude of this accomplishment that he is about to create. You said tip of the hat. I do have to give a tip of my Mets cap though to Francisco Lindor. People are saying he's in the MVP race. I got to tell y'all guys, he's my favorite player in the whole league, but there is no race. It is Ohtani and nothing else. Okay, 50-50 is something that has never been done or even comprehended before. And when you see something that special, as I told my pops the other day, yeah, we love Lindor, but there's no chance whatsoever because this is something so spectacular that it's just unfathomable.
It's like an Olympic sprinter racing a very fast NFL wide receiver.
Yeah,
bring it full circle, baby. I love it. Oh, bringing it all full circle. I like it. That's not, you know, some comedy. You've been watching Baja Malavea at his stand-ups, huh? Shout out. All right.
Shout out to Bajo.
Let's get into a little bit of misery here. Someone on this panel, their team has 11 losses to go, 12 to go, to break the record. And I would also like to say, that would get my Mets off the hook from the 62 lovable losers of 120 losses. The Chicago White Sox, clever D's, are 31-109. Mike, they still have 27 games.
No.
All right.
Mike don't need to talk. Let me get in character.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, the White Sox are taking a year off. All right, we don't need to win this year. You ever practice on not winning? Okay, that's what we're trying to do. And unfortunately, we're ahead right now. On the Orioles, I believe. I think it's in the eighth inning. I believe we're up right now. But we'll mark my words. We will lose this game. We will find a way to lose this game. Okay, and it's not like Bryce Harper or some other young gun is going to be the number one pick next year. No, we're going to lose. And it's going to be Johnny Sandwiches working at Mike Subs, saying he's going to be the guy we're going to draft, all right? And then we're going to trade everybody away. We're going to trade Luis Robert. He's going to be traded, just like we did Dylan Cease and everybody else. But the White Sox are losing on purpose. We want to set the record for failure.
Deion, it won't help either because the best draft pick you guys can get is 10 next year. It's the best place you could pick in the draft.
He didn't know that, I don't think. He didn't. It's because of luxury tax. It's because of.
Yeah, they changed some rules to where you can only pick in the top. You can't pick in the top 5. I think it's 2 years in a row. And you guys,
the White Sox are moving down to I believe they're coming to Virginia because the Prince William Cannons moved to Fredericksburg. So the Cannon Stadium is open right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they might move there.
Woodbridge White Sox.
The Cannon Stadium.
Yes. The Cannon Stadium is open.
Little alliteration there. I like it.
The homie Cleveland be playing softball out there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we might do that.
I love
All right, I'm back.
That is tremendous.
Bad.
I love that you had that shirt ready. That is great. Great TV work, my friend.
I'm not gonna lie, it made me sweat a little bit when I saw Debo. I still kind of
rest in peace.
Debo and Darth Vader.
Give me that chain.
That team is I've watched the last 2 games of them playing, and man, it brought back some PTSD of some really bad 100-loss Orioles teams for me.
Oh,
yeah, be on HCS.
It was it's a lot of guys that should probably be in like AA, AAA. Just a lot of guys that don't belong in the majors. And
Luis Robert and Elio Jimenez. I mean, it's just.
Yep.
It was sad. I actually felt really bad for Deion the other night when they lost that game in the 9th inning when all 3 of them ran into each other in the outfield, and it looked like some bad news Bears type shit. I was like,
it's like the Suns. Like the Suns set the. I don't know if they set the record, but so many fourth quarter collapses. You know what I'm saying? The Suns did the same thing in the NBA. And I'm like, oh, they're in the playoffs. What do you think they're gonna do? Lose? I'm not dumb. I've seen it. Seen this stuff before. Come on now. It's it's all good. It happens. Sports.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have a mailbag question for Mr. Wheby here, and this actually comes from Beantown. Pause. Pierce for Tatum Hard is the screen name. I guess that's the play off of the Cam and Mace episode last week, where Pierce made the unfortunate mistake of saying that and getting caught on it. But they ask, Rich Hill was signed by the Boston Red Sox and brought up to their major league roster. He is a 44-year-old relief pitcher. Mr. Wheby, how would you feel being called up to the majors to pitch as a relief pitcher at that age?
Please refer to this king by his real name, which is Dick Mountain. Okay, so Dick Mountain makes his way back to the MLB.
Yo,
44 for him. Good for him. I think I've got maybe a good 1 batter left in the shoulder.
Dick Mountain.
I think I could top out at about 62 these days. So I think that's a little slower than batting practice. So I think I could get a batter out of there before I blow the shoulder out. Yeah, okay. Good for him. It keeps doing what he wants to do. I wish I could keep playing baseball competitively. I mean, the guy's out there throwing 84-mile-an-hour fastballs, and good for him. Jamie Moyer 2.0. Go get him, man. I root for the guy.
Like daily golfing, he's still hitting bombs.
Yep.
Clever D, what do you think on that, Deion?
I missed the question. What were we talking about?
It's an old guy pitching, and honestly, this brings up a good story. In Charlotte, we went to the minor leagues and we did a pitching cage, and we won't say who pitched under 50. I won't call their video. One of us pitched under 50. Me, I was at 60, so I was right around where you were, Mike. There, around 60ish. Don't give me that look. Don't give me that.
I'll post a video.
Mid 50s. I was mid 50s. I was mid 50s.
Well, I think I know what we're doing next time we all see each other.
Yeah, I got the footage. I got all that footage.
That's tremendous. Yeah, we need to go to a Tides game and hit the pitching cage. I like that idea. That's funny. And you know what? You said his name, and I remembered his name was Rich Hill, and so I finally got the Dick Mountain joke. But yeah, anyways, Rich over the hill. Let's go. All right.
It's fault they don't let the players put their names on the jerseys during Players Weekend now, because he put Dick Mountain on the back of his jersey, and they said, okay, the players don't get to put nicknames on the back of the jerseys anymore.
Was he the one that got that taken away? Oh,
he put Dick Mountain on the back of his jersey.
Respect.
That is mad respect.
Yeah,
that's great. All right, so before we move on to a couple other topics, before we get out of here, your World Series picks, my friend. and we'll go around the horn.
Yeah, National League, I think the best team, everyone's so injured. That's the problem, is just who's going to stay healthy. Like, the best team I've seen is the Phillies, right? They're the most complete team I've seen. They can hit for power. They can hit for average. They can play defense. They got a bullpen. They've got immaculate starting pitching. So I think I'd take the Phillies over the Dodgers in the National League. The American League, I just can't tell all of these teams that are going to make the playoffs. They're all flawed. Houston is probably playing the best right now, but they've got one starting pitcher. The same with Baltimore. They've got two starting pitchers, and it just no one in the American League is, I think, strong enough to even flip a coin. It doesn't matter. I'll pick Baltimore because I'm wearing the hat, and that's my team. So Baltimore, Philly, World Series, I-95 corridor.
I think I swear this is what I said last year, and I thought you guys were going to go. I was going to go with Baltimore and Philly, and I had Philly winning because I think they were going to get over the hump. Because that's what I said last year. I'm sticking to it this year. I'm thinking Philly and Baltimore.
Okay. I would agree with the Phillies if this was earlier in the year. They are the most complete team, as Wheby said, but they have been dealing with some slumping lately. And since the All-Star break, they're actually right at 500. So they're really going to have to step it up and get some momentum to be able to go through. So I'm going to go away from them. I'm going to go with the trendiest pick, I guess, which I don't want to do, but I'm sorry. When you have a lineup with Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman, and they're starting to get all their pitchers back healthy now. Kershaw may be back soon. They got Walker Buehler, hopefully is out of his slump. So they got a good rotation. They got the bullpen, all that. I'm going to go with the Dodgers in the NL. And then in the AL, I wanted to go with the Orioles, but I still think they're just a year too early. Now they are getting healthy at the right time. Them too. They're starting to get all their pitchers back. I think Anthony Santander is back, or maybe back soon. So getting all of their players healthy at the right time is good for them, and they have been playing well all year. So for me, it's really a toss-up between them and the Yankees. I hate the Yankees so much. I hate the Yankees. I want to go with the Orioles, but I can't. That lineup is like, even if Stanton could get hot for a couple games, all you need is three pitchers. You got Cole. They got the rookie Luis Gil, even though he's been slumping lately. They've got enough pitching. I'm going to go Yankees, Dodgers. I hate doing that because it's so trendy and stupid. But
it's just cliche, That's why, like Yankee fan. Oh, I'm a Yankees fan. You live in Alaska. Shut the hell up. Like, what are you talking about?
Believe me, it makes me sad to do that because you know how much I hate the Yankees being a Mets fan.
Mets hat. You're wearing a Mets hat too. That's like,
Yeah, that you know what? I'm switching my pick. I'm going to make it 3 for 3. Let's go O's. Let's go O's.
Yeah, you make it up for not giving Brandon that Barry Bonds 700 home run ball too.
Look, I would have.
Was it 700? What ball was that? What was it? 700?
It was his 500th career home run as a Giant. And it was flying to me in the outfield. I was running over. I was going to catch it. And this guy reached in front of me with a hat and took it away. I didn't know what ball it was, so I was just going to give it to Brandon anyways, our friend Brandon, who's a Barry Bonds fan. Turns out it was the 500th career home run he hit as a Giant and made that guy, I guess, a little bit.
You can see Omar's hat on Sports Center. Like, look at that, Omar.
I was like, no. I was like in perfect position. It was so horrible.
And I don't want to call nobody out in case they want to, hunt somebody down. But someone did go to Kyle Ripken's last game and go home with that chair. I'm not naming names. I don't know who would do that, such a thing. But he was able to walk out with the chair he sat in.
That's tremendous. One more thing to make us all feel old before we move on to a little bit of football before we get out of here. I just read a story the other day. Darren Baker called up by the Nationals. Do you remember who Darren Baker is? Darren Baker is the son who was picked up at home plate by JT Snow after Barry Bonds hit that double or whatever it was.
Dusty.
A little kid. He was like,
does that make you feel old?
Yeah.
Does it make you feel old now? He's in the major leagues now.
I feel old. I woke up today, so it's all.
You see this beard?
Yeah, you see these grays right here. These Natural Hulk Hogan's right here. You know, it's going each
The
side.
beard is filling out well, though, Mike. I like the gray on you, my friend. I really do.
Hey, you got the Tywin Lannister. I love it.
Going for the gap tooth Santa Claus.
Okay. All right.
The Jolly Santa Claus.
Well, let's go ahead and hit some football topics before we get out of here. So, first things first, the biggest topic in college football is obviously Coach Deion Primetime Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes. They had a win over the powerhouse of, let's not call them that, let's not act like they're bad. They're FCS, but they also went to the championship like 9 years in a row. The North Dakota State University Bisons. And they beat the Bisons this past weekend. But let's give a little background on this. Obviously, he's a firestorm for conversation. He went to Jackson State first after they after he had a rebuild there and helped them to bring up the HBCU. He went to Colorado. They had a 1-11 season before. He wins 4 games last year after the first victory against TCU. He brought attention. He brings back the star power. He brings the eyes. Colorado is selling out every single home game and most of their away games. So I just want to get some thoughts from you gentlemen. How do we feel about the way he runs his team in terms of obviously his sons are star players on the team. He has turned over the roster 2/3 each time with transfer portal players. So you're getting new players every year. What happens here? Do they win? Do they win even 6 games this year, qualify for a bowl game, get them back to glory in Colorado, or does this all flame out? Deion, we'll start with you first.
Well, I mean, it's the Deion effect as far as selling out everything. It's the hype, and when he was at HBCU, they were legit. I mean, but you look at it like this when it comes to Colorado. I remember I was watching when they played Colorado State, and that game went to overtime, and I was like, I didn't think they're going to do well, better than where they started at Colorado before he got there, because they won like 1 or no games, something like that. But this year he might do a little better, but he's not going to go undefeated. He's not going to do nothing super, super crazy, because this game was very close. Wait till he plays the powerhouses, and the real thing is that they were touching Pauls. If they were getting at Shedeur Sanders. If they were sacking him, hitting him like this, wait till he plays the other teams in the division at this level, because that was a Division II, right? So I mean, wait till they play Division I guys, and you got to keep him upright. He takes a beating. I mean, he's a beast. Him and Hunter Travis, they're amazing. Those are it's fun for them. But the opposition they played against, yes, they are. That's a good team, but just if he took a beating against them, just think what's going to happen when he plays USC and everyone else. But I like what he's doing. I still think they're about 2 years away, but his son's not going to be there anymore. Who's the heir apparent? Who's going to be the next quarterback? Who's going to be the next playmaker when both his sons leave and Hunter leaves? So I like what he's doing, but let's not just crown him already. So
Hey, can I ask you guys a question?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what all these teams have in common. Okay. UNLV, Appalachian State, University of Texas, San Antonio, Tulane, Vanderbilt, Liberty, SMU, Memphis, Iowa State. You know what they all have in common?
They play on Masson.
Love Colorado. I don't talk about brony teams. Let's talk about Old Dominion. I get it. Deion Sanders is famous. He talks a lot. He's an entertaining guy. But this is what drives me nuts about Hot Take TV and sports talk radio. Is people out here wasting breath on a dude that's coaching the 41st ranked team in the country. Ugh. Gross.
That's why
No, but how do we feel about that? Go ahead, T. Go ahead, D.
No, I'm just saying, like what Mike was saying, like a lot of people like to take hot takes. It's cool to take them, and I get it. But when you hear it on TV, what is your opinion? The difference from what you hear from Colin Cowherd? Okay, you're just copying what he said, just saying in your vernacular. Like you're not really formulating your own opinion. Like, oh well, he sucks. Well, you know what? I think he sucks also. Well, why does he suck?
Yes.
Oh, he just shut the fuck up. Like, it's just stop copying everybody because let's just have common sense with this shit. No,
Yeah.
I mean,
Liberty, Tulane,
yes,
University of Texas, San Antonio, App State, and UNLV.
Lee.
Just let's have an intelligent, educated conversation about this when he's doing something worth talking about, because it's just not happening right now. Let's give the man some time to build the program and have something that's working before we start getting on it and really trying to dive into something that's not done cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing where you're not going to. You're right. The hot take Jakers, the ones that make these crazy proclamations. He said Colorado was going to the playoffs. I told him he was an idiot. There's no way they even win. Yeah, there's no way they even win 6 games, I don't think, or get to a bowl game. So even it doesn't really matter who they play. They're just not that great. Too much turnover, all that stuff. But let's think a little deeper into this. How do we feel about now? Two follow-up questions. How do we feel about his contentiousness with the media, especially the one where he banned the Colorado reporter from asking about football questions? How do we feel about that? Is that a cockiness? Is that a what do we think about that little scuffle he has with that?
Yeah, I don't like it, but I mean, that's a grown man. If he wants to do that, he could do that, and he'll face the consequences for doing it. If he wants the media to leave him alone, maybe they'll leave him alone now. Maybe he'll make enough people mad, and no one wants to cover him, and people don't want to talk about him on their shows anymore because they're mad at him the way they were mad at Albert Bell. And Albert Bell doesn't get in the Hall of Fame because he was an asshole.
Yep.
He has all the right in the world to do that. If he doesn't want to answer these people's questions and he's willing to pay whatever fines he's going to get, go get him, Deion. Have fun. Yeah, go get him.
Yeah, I'm not like I will say this after the game, he wasn't happy, how the defense played and things like that because Deion Sanders knows the deal. He knows his team needed to step up. That's what I do like about him. He's very honest with that stuff. And
it's hard when I have a bad day at work. People don't run into my face with microphones right afterwards, and as soon as I have a.
But I didn't know the CBS. I'm not sure. I don't know why he didn't like CBS or what did CBS do to make him not.
Well, specifically, the guy wrote a report or articles, and he was calling him names it was things like I don't want to say derogatory, but he was calling them nicknames like Universal Prime and all these other things.
Okay, if I was Deion, I would do the same thing. Okay, if you want to talk shit like that, you want to act like that, well then fuck you. I don't even talk to you. Pardon my French.
No, you're good.
He did what he's the man. You're asking him questions, so you need him for clicks and views and comments. So if he's not giving you any feedback, he's cutting you off. So you might want to tread lightly. Not saying you can't criticize him, but if you're taking digs like that, then no, he doesn't have to talk to you.
Yeah, that's how he felt about it. He said that he felt the guy was taking shots at him in the articles by calling him all these different names. Like I forget the names, but they was just like playing off of his primetime name and trying to make him look like silly, like highlight Deion and things like that. So I agree. I think you do whatever you want to do, but you put up with the consequences, like Wheby said. And maybe he doesn't have those people talk to him. But what do we think about the future then? Like Wheby mentioned, his son and Travis Hunter are both going to graduate. Shiloh will probably still be there. Obviously, he's not good enough to go. But definitely Shedeur and Travis Hunter are gone. Where does Shedeur and maybe even Travis go? There's rumors of where they might want to go. And what happens with Deion? Does he stay or does he go? Anything that you want to answer?
They go to whatever trash teams in the top 5. I mean, that's where they're going to go. It's really who we think is going to be in the top 5 picking. I feel like he had a chance to be probably. No, Jerry Rice was the best come from HBCU, but he had a chance to be one of the, McNair level players coming out of HBCU. But now he's with Colorado. I mean, we can only speculate where we think he might go. It really depends on who are the worst 5 NFL teams.
There's also rumors that they may pull an Eli Manning, and Deion Sanders may be like, I don't only want him to go to a specific team, or I don't want him to go to these teams, or maybe there's rumors of Jerry Jones trading up for him, which I don't think is or somehow getting to Dallas.
I mean, it depends what Dallas does. I mean, if the Dallas has another year where they don't really do as well as they want to do or not win a playoff game, and they're like, all right, we don't want Dak. Do they have the assets to trade up to get that person, to get him? You know, it's hard to speculate right now because we don't know who's the worst, who's bottom tier team. You know what I'm saying?
Remember where Jaden Daniels was at this point in time last year?
Exactly. So it's kind of hard. It's hard to speculate. I mean,
so far away from that. Yeah.
Think about who doesn't have a quarterback. You know.
Yeah, no, I was just more alluding to those rumors that he's going to try to steer him away from certain teams, and if he can, steer him to Dallas. And then there's rumors of Deion actually maybe becoming the coach of the Dallas Cowboys after that, leaving Colorado for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not saying I made these rumors up. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why Jerry Jones would hire a coach that hasn't won anything. That doesn't sound like Jerry Jones to me. I mean, I know Deion's cool. Everyone loves Deion, but. Let him finish the job there.
Yeah, let him turn around Colorado and then see what happens. Get a winning season.
I think he will. I think he'll be a great recruiter. He'll be able to get a huge amount of players that other teams won't be able to get because he's Deion. I think he's got himself in a good position and at a big school. So I think he can. Just got to give him time. It's too early for any of that stuff. We don't even know this dude can coach.
You're completely right. All right, cool. Well, let's move on to the mailbag question for the NFL. There was a recent survey that came out in The Athletic. Shout out Dave in The Athletic. It was, who would you rather have, Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson? Now, they gave out the career statistics, which are very similar. Let's just say that. They got the rushing touchdowns. Obviously, Lamar has a little bit more, and also the passing touchdowns. Josh Allen has a little bit more. So you take that into consideration. But Josh Allen was the winner of this survey that was done. It was about 60-40 was the percentage there. Their career arc is pretty similar. They've both made the playoffs. Neither one has won the Super Bowl, but Lamar does have the two MVPs,
and the other one's not. That's a pretty big career difference.
Yeah, go ahead. Shout out.
I mean,
keep going.
They're not the same. I mean, they're totally different quarterbacks. But if you're comparing two players who haven't won Super Bowls, and one has two MVPs and the other one has zero, then I think it's pretty clear which one you want. You want the one with two MVPs.
Yeah,
who's been called the best player in the league 2 different times. That's the guy you pick. But they can take Josh Allen all they want if you get to pick those two. I'm taking the guy I know can be the MVP.
Pretty much. I mean, these preseason and off-season little who's number one and who's not. Okay, it's cute to do that. It's always cool to be like, oh, look at this stat line. I'm not a big fan of stat line because that's not the game. Okay, you can say someone threw 2 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, and let's say 400 yards or 300 yards, whatever. You say, oh, yeah, he's garbage. But, what those interceptions were tips. You know what I'm saying? Or, he didn't throw it directly to the person. And he actually, did well in the game, just had some misfortune with those interceptions. But if you look at stat line, you're like, okay, he had a garbage game. You got to look at the individual person. And when you watch the actual film, I would take Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen, 10 out of 10. It's not even, to me, it's not even close, but if you look at if you look at the way these guys are getting paid that haven't done anything is phenomenal. You look at Trevor Lawrence, you look at Herbert, you look at all these guys are getting all this money. And I'm like, if I'm negotiating, I'm saying you're not getting nothing over what Patrick Mahomes is getting, point blank period. It's crazy that a lot of people look at the money and think because they're getting that money, they're that good. That's the issue I have a problem with in the NFL right now.
Yeah, no. Shout out round the wagons for this question. We appreciate you tuning in. I agree with all of you. I'm gonna make it the trifecta. It is Lamar Jackson is the better, more versatile, more skilled QB. That being said, I believe the reason that this survey went the way it did, and I agree with you all, it's not all about the stats. But Josh Allen, over the same amount of years, does have 7,000 more yards and 40 more, or 20 or 40. Hold on. Sorry, 40 more touchdowns. So that is probably why. But
2 MVPs.
I
would trade.
I would not.
2 MVPs.
I would.
Who did with Josh Diggs? Who's the last good? I'm trying to think of Ravens receiver.
No one.
Opposed to
Derek
Bills
Mason.
receiver.
Oh, wait, that was for Lamar Jackson.
Look at that stuff too. Like, who's he throwing it to?
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith.
I said Derek Mason.
Like, who's he throwing it to? People got to take in that all plays a factor when you say this stuff. So it's like, oh, he's doing more with less, So
yeah,
a lot of variables come to the football. Like, football is the ultimate team sport, and one person does get all the credit at times, but sometimes it's not like that. You got to actually watch the games instead of just like, oh, look at the stat line. Oh yeah, I'm going with Josh. No, man, come on, man. You kidding me?
Yeah, sounds great. I'd have him on my team, but not over Lamar Jackson.
No,
okay,
not at all.
I agree with you. We'll make it 3 for 3. All right. So, couple quick hitters. Now that the seasons are about to start, let's go ahead and if you have one, who is your college football champion and who is your Super Bowl matchup? So we'll go around the horn. Mike.
Jeez.
College football, I just don't know. It's still too early. I mean,
okay, you don't have to have them. I was just wondering.
I think it's fair to bet against Georgia at any point in time right now, given what they've done the last couple of years. So you got to pick the team with the best players, and that looks like Georgia every year. So take Georgia.
Okay.
I don't want to sound too cliche, and I do not want to say this team because I can't stand them. And just
sound like me earlier.
I do not I cannot stand this team. But it's because I'm a Virginia Tech fan and we lose to Vanderbilt, so I got no skin in the game right now. But yeah, it's rough. But I'm going to, as my dog's walking around, go sit down, boy. I will say I'm not gonna say Miami. I just said it, but I'm not saying Miami because I like Cam Ward. I'm gonna say Georgia to be easy.
All right, and yeah, that was a horrible. Shout out little Shane who was here out this weekend with his boys. That was a bad loss. Vanderbilt is one of the worst teams ever. I was so upset that y'all lost to them. All right, my pick. I did it on the bottom line the other day, so that's why I just didn't know. I thought everybody might have an idea. I'm gonna go OSU. They're bringing back the most experience and talent. I'm gonna go Big Ten 2 years in a row. Ohio State over Georgia. Now Super Bowl picks. What are we thinking? Whoever wants to go.
Yeah, I think you're going to be a happy man at the end of the year.
I mean, I'm going with the Niners because I'm being a homer.
Yep.
But two, I just feel like besides the San Fran and the NFC, the Eagles, I think, give us the toughest chance. I mean, Detroit is good. Detroit should have been a Super Bowl last year, but Detroit's problem is Dan Campbell. If he still acts like Dan Campbell, his ego can get him out of winning a game like it's happened before.
Yep.
I think I honestly feel the Packers, they're going to be a good team this year, but I think that with us bringing just about everybody back together, maybe we get over the hump. But I have a thing where I cannot go against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs because I'm Pedro Martinez, when he was like Yankees, my daddy, where the hell he said. That's how I feel.
Yeah, my daddy.
That's how I feel. I mean, I'm keeping it 100. A lot of y'all folks don't like doing that, but keeping it 100. If we play the Chiefs, we're going to lose. But if the Chiefs don't make Super Bowl, I think we'll win. Please, Bengals, please, Joe Burrow, stay healthy.
So you're calling 49ers over Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's your pick?
No, if we play the Chiefs will win. They'll get 3 people.
I'm calling Niners. So we got the same Super Bowl just with different winners.
Yeah, if the Niners go Super Bowl and they play the Chiefs will win. If we play anybody but the Chiefs, we'll win. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Well, I was hoping you would continue to say Niners because I'm making it a trifecta. I've got the Niners this year myself. I think this is the year they finally get over the hump. I have been playing the Ravens. I have a 49ers-Ravens Super Bowl. I think the Ravens are.
You got cheated.
I think the Ravens are going to tough out this schedule. They have one of the tougher schedules, in the league. I was just looking it over the other day, but I think that they're going to get through it with 10, 11 wins, and that'll make them stronger for the playoffs. And I think they overcome their demons and get over the hump, but not enough to get over San Francisco.
Wait,
So all three of us.
11,
well,
10, 11 wins. My bad, Omar. 10, 11, not 12 like Can.
Well, I had at first one before I even did the picks. I was like, okay, Baltimore could get 12.
He got everybody getting 12 wins.
I know, right? Yeah, you get 12. He's like, Oprah, you get 12. You get 12. I was like, okay, wait a second. I tried to explain to him, like, there's math to this. There's only a certain amount of games. There's 544 NFL games a year, 272 in the conference, 136 wins possible. So you have to like keep it in that like realm. There's obviously
I had to tune out that when y'all got to the Cowboy talk and being hypocritical about some rookies and not rookies. I was like, I gotta get out of here. I can't listen to this shit no more.
I don't even blame you. But that being said, we are gonna get out of here now. Yes. After this amazing show, we were so happy to have again, special guest. We've known him for a long time, but he's big now in the world. He works for The Athletic. Dave DeFore, y'all make sure you go check him out. His Twitter is at the bottom of the screen, Dave DeFore NBA. So make sure you go follow him. You can go get everybody else's Twitters down there as well at the bottom of the screen. Mike's Wheby is Mike. Oh, actually, no, he changed it. It's 757 Mike W now. I forgot. I got to change that. I just found out he has a new handle. So I got to change that. But you can find Clubber D, TikTok at clubber.d. So check him out there. And as well, you can check all of us out. Make sure you subscribe at Ball and Buds. The most important thing to do is go ahead and subscribe on YouTube so you can stay up to date with all of these videos. I post videos every day, and we go live every week. Next week, we go live for Clubber D, the Combat G's Combat Sports Special. Next Thursday, 8 p.m. for UFC 306 and the Canelo Alvarez fight. So make sure you all tune in for that again next Thursday at 8 p.m. And we will have some more special guests on for that episode. So again, I'm going to let my boys say goodbye, and then I'm going to take them off because I do have one final note I want to talk about before I get off here, and I don't need to implicate them in my statements. So gentlemen, go ahead and sign off, and then I'll take care of that business.
Yep.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm out. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, same thing. I'm out. Hopefully, catch us around. I'll be back next week, and tell your moms have my distilled water ready.
Next Thursday, 8 p.m., Clubber D and I will be back on. Thanks again to Wheby and to Dave DeFore from The Athletic. We love you boys. All of us have been friends for a while. So good. Peace out, brother. Now, before I get out of here, y'all, I just want to talk about one thing in particular. Obviously, Clubber D had mentioned earlier the Ricky Pearsall shooting with the 49ers, and I'm not going to get into that. But that was something that we had talked about touching on that we thought would have been something that we could have talked about, the issues of, maybe society and other things like that. But after today, after the heinous and disgusting mass shooting at the high school in Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, where 2 children and 2 teachers were killed. Others were killed as well. They have not identified them yet. 30 wounded. I decided that was not a good topic for us to touch on today due to the sensitive nature of the things that happened today, but I did think that I needed to say something, and I didn't want to implicate my boys or my friends with my opinions, so I wanted to make sure they all got off first. This is ridiculous, y'all. We got to stop this bullshit. This shit goes on too much. Every time we turn around, we have another damn mass shooting, and it is ridiculous. This shit don't happen in no other countries around the world. It only happens here, and it happens all the damn time. And I'm sick of it. We have to have some sort of solution. And yes, I am not a politician. I don't make these rules, and I don't want to come get your guns. I'm not that type of person. I'm not trying to come attack the conservatives and come. That's not what it is. But we need gun control. We need mental health services. We need all of these solutions to make this better. We need better mental health. We need gun-safe storage laws so a 14-year-old can't just go and get, his hand on his dad's gun or his uncle's gun or whatever. Again, we don't know all the facts of the situation, but what we do know is a 14-year-old somehow procured a gun and killed multiple people and injured a lot more at a school. Now, there was a shooting right out here I'm not going to say the establishment because I'm not trying to give it a bad name. Y'all all know who it is, especially sports fans. But there was just a shooting right outside my apartment the other day here in the parking lot, outside of a popular club, because some people got into an argument while they were getting ready to exit the parking lot of the club, and two guys had guns and started shooting at each other. If y'all stupid dumbasses want to kill each other, go right ahead, okay? But to go and harm children in a learning environment, killing teachers who are providing precious education to those children, and harming an institution where people are supposed to feel safe is way out of line. And it happens way too much. We've got to find the solutions, y'all. And especially to mental health. We need more mental health services to help those out there that are in need. We need more gun control laws, whatever it is. We don't need to take them away. We just need to control this from happening. I'll have more on this on my mind to the professor in a couple weeks. I decided after today I'm going to do a new episode, and that will be one of the topics I touch on. Until then, again, for the amazing episode, which I hope y'all really enjoyed today. What a special guest, Dave, coming through. That was amazing. My boys, Wheby, Deion, Clever D. We've all known each other for over 25 years, so good friends, and we hope you enjoyed us bullshitting around today and having a little fun. But don't forget that there are more important things in this world and things that we can control, including the safety of our children and the safety of ourselves. With that, mad love, mad positivity. I send strength and prayers to all those people that lost loved ones or anyone that has in the past any of these kind of situations. I wish you the best of a night. Please be safe. Please love each other. Please be kind to each other. And we'll see you on Clever D, the Combat G's Combat Sports Special next Thursday, 8 p.m. Make sure you subscribe to Ball and Buds. We're out. Be well. Be safe.